I did the double package. I wanted the Bela Lugosi starring in Dracula and the Boris Karloff starring in Frankenstein graphic novels. And they've just put the Frankenstein one to press. So I'll get my copies of those from the campaign in one go. But Alec Purdue was kind enough to go ahead and send me the Bela Lugosi Dracula one so I could go ahead and read it for Halloween. So I appreciate that from him. This is from Legendary Comics, and it's the light here. Carrie Gamble is the one who's really does the likeness of Bela Lugosi in here and whatnot. There's a great intro written by Bela Lugosi's granddaughter talking about how she and her father had always wanted somebody to do a graphic novel that was as true a telling of the draft as true of an adaptation of the Dracula novel as it could be, with the likeness of Bela Lugosi. Because the movie, great as the original movie is, there are parts of it that are way more an adaptation of the Hamilton Dean play than they are really of the novel. Lots of it, most of it is that. So, and he didn't get to play the character. He only played the character in name twice. Of course, he played vampire-like characters that were basically Dracula a lot of times, So great movies, and don't count those, don't discount those. But giving him, posthumously the chance to actually play the real character from the novel is a cool idea. And they did this, and it's, they start out with the old, when Harker first meets Dracula in Transylvania. Of course, he's older, and he's not until he gorges himself on blood that he goes younger. So they use the older images of Bela Lugosi, before he becomes, the young one. This is a cool read. It's a really great adaptation. Like I said, it's about as close of an adaptation as can be based on the, being a graphic novel. It does make some changes. The changes that it makes are interesting because I think some of the changes it makes are, I've watched so many Dracula iterations lately, or read so many Dracula iterations, that I like to I'm interested in the aspect of adaptation. Like, what do authors, how do they choose what to put in? How do they choose what to change? And this author has a lot of fun with some of the things to change. Like, it's supposed to be an adaptation of the novel, not the Dracula movie, yet they do throw in little Easter eggs. Like, they still call Carfax Abbey, which is something that the movie did. Now, it wasn't in the book. They place Carfax Abbey in Whitby, which is something a lot of movie adaptations do, but that wasn't in the book either. Whitby was the seaside village. Carfax Abbey and Dracula's, or the asylum with Renfield and all of that, that was outside of London. So, but really great artwork, as you can see, just wonderful, wonderful iterations of it. The story, in places, it can feel a little rushed, but again, that's just because you're slamming this huge, wonderful novel into a, it's admittedly a long graphic novel, but it's not, it's not a lot of space to work with. But all of the iconic moments from the novel, it's just so cool to see Bela Lugosi acting them out. It's a little jarring at first, because if you think, okay, well, this is Bela Lugosi's Dracula, you're thinking, okay, well, where's Edward Van Sloan's Van Helsing? Where are the other characters? But that they didn't get the likeness rights to them. They're just doing it as Bela Lugosi as Dracula, and then the rest of the characters are supposed to be just thought up or dreamed up, in terms of appearance. And yet you can see some little likenesses that are kind of like picking and choosing from different iterations of Dracula. Like, here's the Dracula's brides. You can't tell me he wasn't basing them on the brides from Van Helsing, the Hugh Jackman movie, Stephen Sommers movie with Van Helsing. Because those were such a cool iteration of those brides. And you can't tell me he's not basing them, especially the one in the center there. So it's a lot of fun. If you're a Dracula fan, you will have enormous fun with this. From Legendary Comics, you can still get on the bandwagon. They'll still accept backings now. The campaign's well over, and they're putting it to press, but they still got like a late backer, place for you to buy one. So check out Legendary Comics. It really is. If you're a Dracula fan, it's great. Now, if this is like your first foray into the Dracula story, no, don't go read this first. Go read the novel. But if you're a Dracula fan, this is so good. It's so fun. It's a really good adaptation. It's fun to see. that sort of love letter to Bela Lugosi, and having him play the part, and it's his son and his granddaughter are, on board with it and everything. So it's all done very respectfully. I like it. It's really good.